Mutata. Senator Methu John Muhia, Nyandarua County.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And I want to encourage Senator Omtata, Senator Andrew Okia Omtata. You are not the only voice, because you are a voice that, just like Elijah Mwangale, the stone, it is your work to tell the stone. Whether the stone wants to listen, it is up to the stone. But you are not the only voice on this particular matter, especially on the recommendations that have been made by the Committee on Finance. I think I'm with you. I will not say that I support the recommendations that have been made by the Committee on Finance. More specifically, because I see them as a tap on the list of the government. They are just very moderate in terms of the recommendations that have been made on such a serious breach of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. They never want to go for the jugular. They don't want to say, and as it is, Honorable Speaker, so therefore, Honorable Omtata, feel encouraged. It feels good to do the right thing. We have always been hand-tied in the past, and you know. But we feel good. If this is how you've been feeling for the time that you've been speaking freely, we feel very good that you are now able to speak very freely without any baggage of being threatened by anybody. That if you say this, this will happen. If you don't say this, that will happen. So we are now able to speak very freely. Honorable Speaker, we are staring at an extremely difficult and an extremely dangerous situation as a country, Honorable Speaker. And in fact, what we are staring at is a threat on the sovereignty of the Republic of Kenya. Because, Honorable Speaker, when our debt has grown to 11.2 trillion, regardless of the route, as has been spoken about by Senator Omtata, regardless of the route that you've used to arrive to 11.02 trillion of our national debt, Honorable Speaker, and looking at the amount of money that we as a country are expected to pay to service our debt, then it tells you that the sovereignty of this republic is actually at very, very great risk. And the actions that have been made, and the actions that have been, the very deliberate actions that have been taken and steps that have been taken by the William Ruto administration, Honorable Speaker, they are putting this country in a hole that it will be extremely difficult for us to get out of this particular hole, Honorable Speaker. And let me say this, looking at all the recommendations and all the submissions that have been made by every person who actually, I've seen that there were like 7 or so bodies that gave the recommendations on this particular report, Honorable Speaker. None of them has rounded President William Ruto, because every one of us, including the members of that particular committee, they know that we are actually, or the country is not on the right trajectory. If by June 2025, Honorable Speaker, which is this year, by June of this year, our public public debt service will be at standing at 1.95 trillion. That will be almost half of the national budget, Honorable Speaker. Because if our budget for the next year will be standing at 4 trillion, Honorable Speaker, and we are spending 1.95 on our on servicing our national debt, Honorable Speaker, it tells you that for almost every 1 shilling that is collected, half of that money will be used for loans, Honorable Speaker. And the Senator Omtata has told you that, especially for the external loans that we get, they are meant, or they are supposed to go to capital projects. I would also ask, like Senator Onyonka has asked, what is this hole that never fills, Honorable Speaker? If every year we are paying 1.95 trillion, how comes our national debt does not reduce? And we also would want to put to test, because part of the campaign promises by President William Ruto, he was saying, and if I was to quote him, watu wamekopa pesa wamekula pesa hii Kenya, watu wamekuwa wakikopa pesa wanapeleka mahali ingine, tukichukua hii serikali hatutakuwa tunakopa, serikali yetu tutaweka sawa sawa na tutarokota kodi. Lakini we need to put that statement to test, Honorable Speaker. In his first year, President Uhuru Kenyatta, since he was sworn in 2013 to 2014, September of 2013 to September of 2014, Uhuru Kenyatta had a debt, or had accumulated a debt of 437 billion. What about our angel who was supposed to correct that particular problem, President William Ruto had accumulated a debt of, in his first 9 months, in his first 1 year, sorry, he had accumulated a debt of 1.2 trillion. And Honorable Speaker, we then need to ask ourselves, because we are not borrowing this money for any other person, we borrow this money for the people of Kenya. Is it that the quality of life of the people of Kenya has improved since President William Ruto came to power? At least for President Uhuru Kenyatta, when he came to power, maybe we can say that the 437 billion that he had accumulated in debts, Honorable Speaker, in his first year, he was able to make our secondary school education almost affordable and almost free, Honorable Speaker, and that is a fact. Then we need to then put to test this new administration of President William Ruto. How much has out of this 1.2 trillion, how much has gone to making the lives of the people of Kenya better in his first 1 year in office, Honorable Speaker? You all must appreciate, and we all must appreciate, in his first year of his presidency, the taxes went very high, and he was saying that we need to be very patriotic. We need to give as much as we can, and we need to press the pay slips as much as we can, so that we can be able to support the national government, so that we stop borrowing, and so that we can develop and we can grow our own country using our own money. He was saying that if you are able to spare a shilling or two from your payslip, a shilling or two in your taxes, then we shall be able to ensure that we can be able to have a balanced budget. What has happened 3 years later, Honorable Speaker? Now our deficit in our budget is now running to trillions of money. It's the first time that we are seeing this kind of a deficit in a budget, in the national budget, Honorable Speaker. And he's going on to borrow, and it is not that the quality of the life of the people of Kenya is getting better. If you are to put that statement to test, Honorable Speaker, you know that a board, just one board of gypsum, in 2022 when William Ruto became president, was costing 630 shillings. Now, 3 years into his presidency, it is costing more than 1,000 shillings, Honorable Speaker. University education, by the time William Ruto became president of this republic, Honorable Speaker, it was at least 44,000 per student every year, every academic year, Honorable Speaker. In his new university funding model, students are paying up to 240,000 for one student, one academic year, Honorable Speaker. He has made life extremely expensive, and it has become extremely difficult to be a Kenyan, Honorable Speaker. That is why you feel you hear every time, Honorable Speaker, most of you are saying that they want the freedom of the payslip because they cannot see what this money is. They cannot feel the impact of the money that they have added to the government in terms of taxes versus the services that they are getting from the government, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we would have expected, and it is the general expectation of the people of Kenya, that in terms of service delivery, if, for example, Honorable Speaker, I was to spend, by the time I became a member of parliament here, Honorable Speaker, I think I was paying about 2,700 for my health insurance. Now I think I'm paying about 37,000, according to the new arrangement that was brought by President William Ruto. If indeed I was to access health care, and I don't need to spend my own money again, I would feel that it was worth it. But what has happened? Our health system has collapsed, and you know it, Honorable Speaker. Every time you hear, you have harambes, you are a member of parliament and you know it. People are suffering in the villages. You are paying more and you are suffering more. What has become of this country, Honorable Speaker? Why is William Ruto running down this country? Because we need to ask ourselves, why is he running down this country? We don't have any other country. He also wants to, even if he anyway, Honorable Speaker, these are difficult things, and I also want to quickly run to one person who gave his memoranda to this particular committee, and he said that we should try and reduce government wastage on or prudence in the way we use our national resources. Honorable Speaker, when President William Ruto came, he said that we are cutting on all wastages in government. In fact, we were told that austerity measures are setting in. We were told that, including in Parliament here, we were told that we have to reduce our foreign travels, we have to reduce our domestic travel. It has happened in Parliament. I'm told that, the way we travel now is not the same way we used to travel when we came in here. But what happens at the National Executive? Because that is also something that we need to test. Why is it that his budget his State House budget keeps growing every financial year? It's not that he has new members of staff. It's not that he has new services or he's getting more guests than he was getting so that he can increase his hospitality budget. What was it in the State House that he found? Were the roofs leaking in State House that he had to make it? He had to spend billions of money in a country that people are suffering on very basic issues on health, Honorable Speaker. But he has the money to ensure that he can repair almost all state roads around the Republic, Honorable Speaker. How many can he sleep in, even within one financial year? Why can't he do them progressively? Why would he not then do the State House in Nairobi and leave the rest and do them progressively, Honorable Speaker? He is renovating a State House in Nyeri, renovating another State House in Bungoma, renovating the State House in Nakuru, renovating State House in Mombasa, renovating State House I don't know where. Why does he want to live like a king? And the people that he's leading, the people of Kenya, are suffering and they are sleeping hungry. What becomes, what Honorable Speaker, what joy does he gain in having the best parishes State House in Africa, in the region? He says that he wants the State House of Kenya to be the level of the White House of the United States, Honorable Speaker. Is he leading people who have as much quality of life as the people of the United States, Honorable Speaker? He runs down the health system of Kenya, then he wants to live like a king. Honorable Speaker, tell me, because you know it. As we work on on government, reducing government wastage, Honorable Speaker, tell me how and why it is important, and I want my colleagues to tell me why it is important, that for every one project that has been commissioned, the President has to commission it 5 times. Tell me, Honorable Speaker, because the President was in Nairobi, why would he have to spend a lot of money? You saw the kind of entourage that he was moving with when he was commissioning projects in Nairobi. Tell me, Honorable Speaker, why it was extremely important for him to move in entourages of 50 SUVs, have mobilized people to come and clap for him.
Honorable Senator Methu, I know you have very hearty contributions towards this motion, but I want to remind you of the provisions of the Standing Order 101 on the content of speech, because you are contributing to a report on debt management. But the way your contributions are going, you're debating around the person and the conduct of the President, and for which you then need to move a specific motion. So you should confine yourself to the relevance of what the report that you're contributing to, so that if that report in any manner then points to the fact that it's the President that is doing the budgets and not the Treasury, then you would move towards the line of argument you have taken. But under Standing Order 101, then you need to be cautious how you contribute towards this, so that it's not about the debate on the person of the President.
Honorable Speaker, I know you have a responsibility of protecting the President. He's your party leader and my party leader, for that matter. I am just reading, I'm picking things straight from the report. I have actually gone to page 20.
Are you picking something on that report?
Page that one. Just
let me have the report. Clerk, let me just have the report so that we are on the same page. What page was that you indicated?
I'm at page 30.
Page 30.
On let me get it, but it was the submission that was made by Mr. Ronyo Kevin. I'm just speaking on the, and it is just a broad term. I'm saying, in one of the things that he proposed is reduction of government wastage. I am trying, in my argument, Honorable Speaker, to express my disappointment in terms of public wastage. I'm not saying that I'm discussing the conduct of the president. I'm not discussing the conduct of the president. President William Ruto is not State House. In fact, he is not the accounting officer of State House. The accounting officer of State House is the controller.
Yes, Senator Methu, that's why I have guided you understanding Order 101, because when I look at page 30, I have not seen the mention of the president in any of those paragraphs.
And I have not mentioned him in any of my arguments. I'm saying, Honorable Speaker, and I don't know why you want to...
Do you need a review? Because you mentioned several times.
Okay, if it is
Please
wrong
confine yourself to the report here.
All right.
Thank you.
I know it's a bit uncomfortable, but you just have to bear with things as they are, and then we can be able to move very, very, very quickly. But more importantly, Honorable Speaker, that very good gentleman made that particular observation that we need to ensure that we reduce government wastage. And I was saying, Honorable Speaker, in my opinion, it is not the priority of the people of Kenya now to have the best state ranges and the best state, the best state house in the region. It may look beautiful. It may look, it is elegant. It is excellent. It is beautiful. But does it reflect the lives of the people of Kenya? Is it the same as to, the quality of the life of the people of Kenya, Honorable Speaker? Maybe finally, before there is a recommendation that has been made by the Committee on Finance that I think, to this extent, I would want to agree with. Automation of the withdrawal of the debt service payment from the consolidated fund, Honorable Speaker. You know, this debt, national debt, Honorable Speaker, has become an extremely opaque thing, Honorable Speaker. You're not able to tell how much we paid within what time. For the county debts, Honorable Speaker, which we call the pending bills, Honorable Speaker, you have a view, because they are managed to do the integrated financial management system. If Mr. Honorable Speaker, you're able to tell this was the date, it was accrued this time, this is what has been done to this date, Honorable Speaker. Why can't we have the same so that we can be able to follow and we can be able to understand how our national debt is flowing, Honorable Speaker?